everyone, so today I'll be solving the Statistics 2.1 quiz for the week 9 periodic, okay? And for question number 1, they gave you the mean mass of 6 green apples is 97 grams, and the mean mass of 9 red apples is 87 grams. And for part A, they want us to find the mean mass of the total apples, or like all the apples added together, okay? So the formula is summation of x over n is equal to m. Now, n we know is 15 because there are 6 green apples and 9 red apples, so just add them together. M is what we want to find. Summation of x, we can find it. So, to find the total summation of x, you have to find the summation of x of the green apples and the summation of x of the red apples and add them together. So in this case, the summation of x is basically just the total mass of all the apples. So here's what you're going to do. You know that, I'll just write the formula again, okay? So they gave us the mean of, let's start with the green apples. They gave us the mean of the green apples is 97. So here just put 97, and we know there are 6 green apples. So to find the summation of x, just do 6 times 97, and you're going to get an answer of 582. So that's your summation of x for the green apples. And then you do the same thing for the red apples, so just 9 times 87, and then you get 783, okay? Now to find the total summation of x, which is this over here, you just add both of them together, 582 plus 783, you get 1,365. Now, they're not asking for the summation of x, they're asking for the mean mass. So all you have to do now is take 1,365, substitute it for summation of x, and divide it by 15. So you're going to take your calculator, you're going to do 1,365 over 15, you get an answer of 91 grams. Okay? So for part B, they told you that the mean mass of the apples decreases by 1 gram when an additional apple is added to the box, and they want the weight of that apple. So we know that in total, the total mass of the apples is 1,365 because we found it in part A. And we know the mean mass is 91. So they told you the mean mass decreases by 1 gram. So it's not going to be 91, it's going to be 90. And they added an additional apple. So 1,365 plus x, because x is what we want to find. So now you have to, now that you have 1,365 plus x and 90, okay, you just use the formula, okay? Summation of x, just substitute 1,365 plus x instead of summation of x. Over n, there were 15 apples and they added an extra one, so 16 is equal to 90. So then just put that on your calculator and solve for x. Okay, if you have the 991CW, just press equation, then solver, and you'll get an answer of 75 grams. Okay, so yeah, 75 grams. Now, for question number 2, they gave you a data set with 27 values. Okay, and they asked for the mean. The mean, all you have to do, just add all of these values and then divide them by 27. So once you add all of these values, you get an answer of 837, okay? And then because there are 27 values, just divide that total answer by 27. So then your mean should be 31. Now, for the median, you have to first arrange, okay? And you have to like scan quickly because we do not have much time in the exam. So you have to be able to arrange the numbers quickly. So just put this on the side here. So there's 2 and then 4, 7, 11, 12, 15, 20, 21, 24, 25, okay? 26, 31, 31, 31, 32, 33, 37, 41, 43, 45, 48, 50, 52, 55, 61, and 65, and then just start canceling out from each side, okay? So you should get an answer of, okay, so I canceled 3 numbers. Okay, just make sure to do all this stuff quickly. And you should get an answer of 31. Yeah, okay, so your answer is 31 and 31. Okay, no, actually, wait, one more. Okay, so yeah, your final answer is 31, so that's your median. And then a stem and leaf diagram. Part C, they told you a stem and leaf diagram constructed using the given data reveals that the distribution is symmetric. Whenever your mean is equal to your median, it's symmetric. Your mean is greater than your median is right skewed, and your mean is less than your median, it's left skewed. Number 3, they gave you a histogram and they gave you the frequency density on the side and the class widths on the bottom, and they ask you to find the mean. Okay, the mean and then the median. Now, the mean, whenever you have frequency and you have the mean, basically what you do is you have to do, whenever you have frequency and class widths and you want to find the mean, you have to do, the formula is summation of xi, which is the midpoint of the class width, times f over f. So you have to first find the midpoints of the class width and multiply that by the frequency for that class width over the total frequency. So we're going to start by finding the midpoints. So for 90 to 110, all you have to do is just add both extreme values together. Okay, so you're just going to do 90 plus 110, then divide that by 2, so 100. Okay, and then you can just keep doing that for the rest. So you're going to have 100, and then 120, 130 to 140 is 135, 140 to 150 is 145, 150 to 160 is 155, and then 160 to 190 is 175. So that's your midpoint. Now you have to find your frequency. Now you do not take these values over here, because these are the frequency densities. You need the frequency. Now, the formula for frequency density, okay, is the frequency over the width. So, to find your frequency, you just take the frequency density, multiply it by the width. Okay? So, for the first one, the frequency density is around 0.2. Second one, frequency density is 0.9. Third one, frequency density is around 2.2. And then 1.7. And then 0.7. And then finally, okay, and then you have finally 0.4. Now, whenever you want to find the mean, you use the frequency, right? But they gave you the frequency density. So then, what you're going to do is, to find the frequency, the formula is frequency density is equal to frequency over class width, or just width, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so to find the frequency, just take your frequency density values, okay, multiply it by the width. The width is basically just the upper bound minus the lower bound, or like the highest value minus the lowest value. So in that case, you're just going to do 110 minus 90, so 20, 130 minus 110, 20, 140 minus 130, 10, 150 minus 140, 10, 160 minus 150, 10, and 190 minus 160, 30. Now, you want to find the frequency, right? So just multiply the class widths by the frequency densities. So 0.2 times 20 is 4. 0.9 times 20 is 18. 2.2 times 10 is 22. 1.7 times 10 is 17. 0.7 times 10 is 7. And finally, 0.4 times 30 is 12. Okay? So, now that you have your midpoints, so you have the mid of the extreme values and you have your frequencies, you can find the mean. Okay? So now all you do is you multiply the midpoints by the frequencies over the total frequency. So the first midpoint was 100 times frequency we found for that one was 4 plus 120 times 18 plus 135 times 22 plus 145 times 17 plus 155 times 7 and 175 times 12. Okay, all of that over 80 because the total frequency is 80. Okay, so just put that on your calculator. I'm gonna do it right now with you guys. So 100 times 4 plus 120. Once you continue putting your values, you should get an answer of 139.75. To the nearest whole number, it's 140. Now they asked for median for part B. Now, you know that your frequencies from part A, okay, were 4, 18, 22, 17, 7, and 12. To find the median, all you have to do is you take your frequency, okay, add 1, so total frequency, add 1 and divide it by 2. So 80 plus 1 over 2. That gives you a value of 40.5. Now that is not your median. That is the term where you're going to find your median. So that means your median is going to be in the 40.5th term. Now, to find the median itself, you have to first find the cumulative frequency. Okay? So then, I think we all know how to find the cumulative frequency. You're just going to add these together. So 22, and then 22 and 22 is 44. 44 plus 17 is 61. 61 plus 7 is 68. And then finally 80. So these are your cumulative frequencies over here. Now, we found that the median is going to be the 40.5th term, right? So you look at your cumulative frequency. 40.5 can't fit into 4. It can't fit into 22, but it can fit into 44. So that means that 40.5 fits into 44, okay? And since 44 is equal to 22, and we know the class width with a frequency of 22 is the third class width, which is 130 to 140. Okay? Now let me explain that again because it gets really confusing. Since the term for your median is the 40.5th term, you find your cumulative frequency, then you find which cumulative frequency fits the term you found. 44 fits 40.5, okay? Now, the third cumulative frequency is equal to the third class width, which over here is, so this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So 130 to 140, so that's the median, okay, in 130 to 140 class width. Okay, so this question, once again, you see average or mean, summation of x over n, okay, is equal to m. Now, so the average height of all 15 teenagers, so we know there's a total of 15 teenagers, so n is going to be 15. M is 170.2, okay, because they told us the average height is 170.2. Now they want us to find the height of the fifth girl. We know that there are 5 girls, and they gave us the heights of 4 of those girls, and they gave us the average height of the boys. Now, To find the summation of x, you have to find the total heights of the girls and the total heights of the boys. The total heights of the boys, all you have to do, just do 172 times 10, because we know there are 10 boys and their mean is 172. So if you put that مثلا like in the equation, so summation of x over 10 is equal to 172. So the summation of x of boys is just going to be 1720. Okay? So now that you found the summation of the boys, summation of x of the boys, 1720, all you have to do now is just find the summation of x of the girls. Now, they only gave us 4 of the heights of the 5 girls, so you're just going to do 1720 plus 165 plus 176 plus 160 plus 168 over, plus x, because that's the height of the 5th girl, over 15, because there are 15 teenagers, is equal to 170.2. So just put that on your calculator, and the height of the 5th girl should be 164 centimeters. Okay, now for question number 5, it's still loading. Okay, so another data set with 11 values. Okay, so all you have to do now, just add all of those values, divide them by 11. So if you add all of these values together, you should get an answer of 286. Divide that by 11, so your mean is 26. Now your median, once again, you have to arrange, okay? So when you arrange these values, you're going to get 14, 19, 2 23s, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 34, and 39. Start by crossing out from each side. So 39, 14, 34, 19, 29, 23, 26, 23, 27, and 24. So your median is 26. Now, a stem and leaf plot with class intervals of width 10 shows that the data distribution is symmetrical because your mean is equal to your median. Okay. Now for this question, it's actually really simple. So all you have to do is, once again, they gave you time intervals, okay? So obviously you can't use one of, they give you 10 to 12, for example. You can't use 10, you can't use 12. You have to use the midpoint, okay? So you have to find the midpoint of all these time intervals, and then you multiply that by the frequency over the total frequency. So it's summation of xi, so the midpoint, times f over f. F is the total frequency, so I'll just do f total, for example. So now we have to just find the midpoints. So this would be 11, 14.5, 18.5, 22, 25.5, and 29. Now you're just going to take your calculator. You're going to do 11 times 3, 14.5 times 7, 18.5 times 24, 22 times 17, 25.5 times 5, and 29 times 4 over the total frequency 60. So all of that over 60. And so you should get an answer that's probably going to be 19 point something, because they told you round it to the nearest whole number. So then whatever 19 point something, you're just going to round it up to 20. Okay? So now they want you to find the median. Okay? So you're just going to do 60, because that's the total frequency, plus 1 over 2. And you get 30.5. That's the term where you're going to find your median. Now, to find your actual median, you have to do the cumulative frequency. So 3 plus 7 is 10. plus 24 is 34. Okay, and you do not have to continue because your term is 30.5 and 30.5 fits into 34. So that means that your median falls in the time interval of 17 to 20. Here they just removed 0.5 from 17 and added 0.5 from 20, added 0.5 to 20. But you don't have to do that because you're finding the difference in between them, so it doesn't matter if you add 0.5 and remove 0.5. Okay? Now, for question number 7, okay, it's kind of the same concept. You just find the midpoints, multiply them by the frequencies over the total frequency. So the midpoint, once again, is 11, and then 14.5, 18.5, 22, 25, and 29. So you're going to do 11 times 3, okay, 14.5 times 7, 18.5 times 16, 22 times 25, 25 times 5, 29 times 4, over the total frequency, which is 60, and you should get an estimated mean of 20.36. Okay, so moving on to question number 8. Another data set, and this time it's arranged, and they gave you 8 values. Okay, so the mean, all you have to do now, just add these values, divide them by 8. When you add these values, you get an answer of 212, okay, divided by 8, and you get an answer of 26.5. Now for the median, all you have to do, since they're already arranged, is start crossing out from each side, okay, and you get 29 and 30. So to find the middle of 29 and 30, just do 29 plus 30 divided by 2. You get 29.5. Now, a stem and leaf diagram with a class interval width of 10 constructed from the given data shows that the distribution is left skewed. Now, the reason why it's left skewed is because your mean is less than your median. Okay? So, question number 9. Oh, I got the last part wrong. That's okay. So, this time they don't give you from one value to another. Like, they don't give you مثلا from 10 to 20. They just give you x is less than 20. So you can just assume, for example, that it would be 0, okay? And then, for example, x is less than 20. And then just do that with the rest. So then 20, x is less than 30, 30, x is less than 40, 40, and then x is less than 50, 50 to 60. Okay? So these are your, I guess you can say, class intervals or time intervals or whatever intervals you want to call them. And they want to find the mean. Okay? So in this case, what you do is you find the midpoint, you multiply it by the frequency. Now, if you look at these values over here, those are not your frequencies, okay? Now, the reason why those are not your frequencies is because they told you that the table below displays the number of cars sold in a specific city over a period of 180 days. This value is usually the total frequency. So that means if these values were your frequencies, they would add up to 180. But they don't add up to 180. So that means this is most likely your cumulative frequency, okay? So then that means you're going to have to find your frequency. So all you have to do is just do the value, for example, 180 minus 176. Okay, so 180 minus 176. So that means here your frequency would be 4. 176 minus 167. Okay, your frequency is 9. 167 minus 135. Your frequency is 32. 135 minus 45. It is 90. And then your first value is always just the same. So these are your frequencies. So now to find the mean, all you have to do is just find the midpoint of the class intervals, multiply them by the frequencies. So from 0 to 20, the midpoint would be 10. So you do 10 times the first frequency, so 10 times 45, okay? And then 20 to 30 is 25 times 90. And then 30 to 40, 35 times 32. And then 40 to 50 is 45 times 9. And then finally 50 to 60, 55 times 4. Okay, over the total frequency is 180. So you get an answer of 24.69. So that's just basically 25. Okay. Now, they're asking for the median value. Okay. So then what you do now is your total frequency is 180 and it's an even number. So you just do 180 plus 1 over 2. So that means your median value is going to be in the 90.5th term. Now, since they already gave you the cumulative frequencies here, just look where would 90.5 fit. Okay, obviously not 45. So then it would be the next number, 135. Okay, so your median fits into the class interval of 20 to 30. Okay, and that is correct. Now, question number 10. They gave you a very big data set. It has 3, 6, 9. Okay, so 10 values. So they gave you a data set filled with 20 values. Now they want you to find the mean. So what you're going to do now, add them all together, divide them by 20. If you add them all together, you get an answer of 522. Divide that by 20, and you get an answer of 26.1. Okay? Now the median, unfortunately, it's not arranged, so you're going to have to just arrange it on the side. Okay? So you're going to have 12, 14, 15, 17, 21, 22, 22, 24, 25, 27, 29, 30, 3 31s, 2 32s, 35, 36, and 36. So cross out. So 36 12, 36 14, 35 15, 32 17, 32 21, 31 22, 31 22, 31 24, 30 25. Okay, and I think I'm missing a value. Wait. Oh no, that's correct. So then you end up with 27 and 29. Now, how did I know that I'd end up with two values? It's because the total frequency is 20, which is an even number. So it's normal if you end up with two values for the median. So then the median would just be the value in between, which is 28. Okay? So a stem and leaf diagram with class interval width of 10 constructed from the given data shows that the distribution is left skewed. Now your mean is less than your median, so that means it's left skewed. Okay? Moving on to question number 11. Okay? So this actually seems really easy. So the mean we know is a summation of x. Either it can be x over total frequency, or if they give you the frequency but you don't have class intervals, just summation of xf over f total, or f if you want to write it that way. Okay, so now simply what you're gonna do is you're gonna take so these are your frequencies, these are your summations of x. So you're just gonna do 1 times 20 plus 2 times 30 plus 3 times 55 plus 4 times 35 plus 5 times 30 plus 6 times 30 over 200. and you get an answer of 3.575, which is rounded up to 4. Now, the frequency is 200, and they want us to find the median. So we just do 200 plus 1 over 2, okay? So then your median is going to be in the 100.5th term, sorry, okay? So you have to first find the cumulative frequency. So start at 20, add 30 is 50, 15, 55, 105. Now, we know that the median is going to be in the 100.5 term, and it can't be into 20, obviously. It can't be into 50, but it can be into 105, okay? So that means that your median is going to be 3 members, okay? So basically just... So now question 12. They gave you a data set with 10 values, and they asked for the weight, okay, the mean weight. So just do summation of x over 10, okay? So then you're just going to do 17 plus 19 plus 7 plus 22 plus 14 plus 18 plus 20 plus 19 plus 19 plus 14 over 10. You should get an answer of 16.9, okay? And then the median, they're not really arranged, but you can arrange them quickly because they're not a lot of values. So your smallest value is 7. And then there's 2 14s. I'm just going to cross them out so I don't get confused. 17, 18, 3 19s, 19, 19, 19. Okay. And then 20 and 22. And then start crossing out. So 22, 7, 20, 14, 19, 14, 19, 17. You're left with 18 and 19. So your median is 18.5 because 18 plus 19 divided by 2 is 18.5. Okay? So, for part B, they told you if the bag with 7 kilograms of fertilizer is excluded, the mean weight of the fertilizer in the remaining bags is 18 kilograms and the median weight is 19 kilograms. So they're just telling you, ignore this 7 over here. It's not there anymore. So all you have to do is just do what we did in part A, but without the 7. So you're going to do 17 plus 19 plus 22 plus 14 plus 18 plus 20 plus 19 plus 19 plus 4. Okay? All of that over 9. Because we've removed the value and there were 10 values. So now it's over 9. So then you should get an answer of 18. And then for median, all you do is just do the same thing we did in part A, just without the 7. So 14, 14, 19, 19, 19. Sorry, I forgot the 18 over here. Then 20 and 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, I'm missing a value. I'm missing 17. Okay? So, then cross out 22, 14, 20, 14, 19, 17, 19, 18. So then the median is 19 in this case. Okay? So, when the bag with 7 kg of fertilizer is excluded, the mean weight is affected more than the median. That is true because at the start the mean was 16.9. Okay? And then after removing the bag of 7 kilograms, okay, you end up with 18 kilograms. Okay, so that means the difference is 1.1 for the mean. But for the median, you started at 18.5, you ended at 19, so the difference is 0.5. So the mean got affected more than the median. Okay? So now on to question number 13, the final question. So now they gave you a stem and leaf diagram. They asked for the mean. Now, whenever they give you stem and leaf, you just do the same process as the table. When they give you a table of values and then you add the numbers and then divide them by the frequency. So you're just going to add 22, 23, 24, 27, 30, 32, 32, 33, 35, 35, 39, 41, 44, 44, 45, 48, 52, 55, and 61. And then divide that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So you're going to add all of these values, divide them by 19. You should get an answer of 38. Now for the median, you just start crossing out since the values are already arranged. Let me just zoom in over here. So 61, 22, 55, 23, 52, 24. Okay, and then just keep crossing out until you get an answer of 35. Okay, and that is your median. Now, the given stem and leaf diagram reveals that the distribution is right skewed. That is because your mean is greater than your median. Okay, so that's it for quiz 2.1 for the statistics week 9 periodic.